A sailor went to sea to see what he could see. At the bottom of the ocean, see. Yes, you're right. We are going to do a poem, The Sea. It's a point of view of a sailor who sails and sails. So the sea becomes his home, and he is calling himself the ocean child. This poem, The Sea, is written by B.W. Proctor. So are you all ready to go to Harleen, ma'am? Yes, I want to know more about this ocean child, the sea. Good morning, children. Welcome to Harleen ma'am's class. I know Auntie has already brushed you up with what the poem is all about. Grade 5, Images, Chapter 10, The Sea. We all love the ocean, we love the beaches, we love the sea. Unfortunately, we could not visit the beaches here sitting in Punjab, could we? No. I'm sure there'll be better times when we can go there. What has been your experience of the sea or the beach? Can you all write down your points? We move to the reflect part. The beach is an exciting place. Now tell me, what are the things you can do at the beach? So list them down in your notebook, in your creative writing notebooks, everybody. We move on to the imagine part. Now children, I want all of you to imagine that you're out there at sea in a boat, and guess what happens? You are caught in a storm. My God, that's going to be one hell of an adventure ride, right? So all of you, please draw and describe a paragraph on it. Moving on to the poem The Sea by B.W. Proctor. Let us read this poem about the sea. The sea, the open sea, the blue, the fresh, the ever free, without a mark, without a bound. It runneth the earth's wide regions round. It plays with the clouds, and it mocks the skies, or like a cradle creature lies. I'm on the sea, with the blue above and the blue below, and silence wherever I go. If a storm should come and awake the deep, what matter? I shall write and sleep. How I love to ride on the fierce, foaming, bursting tide. With every mad wave drowns the moon, or whistles aloft his tempest tune, and tells how goeth the world below, and why the so west blasts to blow. But I never was on the dull, tame shore, but I did love the great sea more and more. And backwards flew to our ploughy breast, like a bird that seeketh its mother's nest, and a mother she was, and is to me. For I was born on the open sea. The waves were white and red the morn, in the noisy hour when I was born, and the whalet whistled, the porpoise rolled, and the dolphins bared their backs of gold. And never was heard such outcry wild as welcomed to life the ocean child. I've lived since then in calm and strife, full 50 summers a sailor's life, with wealth to spend and power to range, but never have sought nor sighed for change. And death, whenever he comes to me, shall come on the wild, unbounded sea. Thank you. I'm going to explain the poem para by para. And yes, this poem is from the point of view of a sailor. The last stanza tells us 50 summers he's been on the sea. That means he's been, as a sailor, he's been there for 50 years. So he's an ocean child. He was born under the blue sky, and he's still there. Whether it's a stormy day, a stormy sea, or a calm sea, he doesn't care. Just like a bird likes to go back to the mother's nest, the ocean child wants to be at the sea, come what may. A storm, calm, whatever. He just loves the ocean. The sea, the open sea, the blue, the fresh, and the evergreen, without a mark, without a bound. It runneth the earth's wide regions round. It plays with the clouds, it mocks the skies, or like cradle creature lies. The poet in the stanza tells us about how open the sea is, how blue and how fresh it is, and without a mark, no boundaries are there. It is running around the earth's wide regions, and it laughs at the skies, it plays with the clouds, just like all the creatures' lives. I'm on the sea, I'm on the sea, I am where I would ever be. This is the sailor's call. The sailor saying, I'm at the sea, I'm the ocean child. I work here, I sleep here, this is my home. So he says, I'm on the sea, I'm on the sea, I'm where I would ever be. Would he like to be anywhere else? No, he is a lover of the sea, and he is on the sea, right? With the blue above and the blue below. The above he's talking about he's talking about the skies, and below the ocean is, the sea is blue. He says with the blue above and the blue below, and silence wherever I go. Yes, he's talking about the silence of the sea. And he says, even if there is a storm should have come and awake the deep, he says, whatever matters, I shall ride. I'm not going to be troubled. I'm not going to be disturbed whether the sea, my home, is going to be in a storm or is it calm. I'm not bothered about that. How I love to ride on the fierce, foamy, bursting tide, when every mad wave drowns the moon or whistles aloft its tempest tune and tells how goes the world below and why the southwest blasted blow. In this paragraph, the poet is trying to further explain how much the ocean child, the sailor, loves to ride, loves to be on this sea. Whether it's fierce, whether it's foaming, it's bursting, the tides are bursting, he says he doesn't care. He just wants to be on the sea. And he tells how goes, whatever happens in the world below. He says how the southwest blasts are blowing. He says he still would like to be on the sea. I never was on the dull, tame shore, but I'd loved the great sea more and more. And backwards flew to her blowy breast like a bird that seeketh its mother's nest. And a mother she was. Who is she here? The sea. He says, yes, the sea is like a mother to me, just like a bird likes to go back to its nest. For I was born on the open sea. The waves were white and the red the morning. And morning was red. And yes, the waves were white. You know, when the waves come, don't you see when they clash? He compares himself to a bird, and he wants to eagerly return back to the ocean if ever he is off the sea, that is. And because the sea is his home. He's a sailor, like I told you. In the noisy hour when I was born, guess what? When the sailor was born, he was born on the sea. And the whale, it whistles. He's talking of all the marine creatures which surrounded the baby. The whale is whistling and the porpoise is rolling around. A porpoise is a kind of a whale, a dolphin, children, similar to a dolphin. And he says, I've never heard such an outcry wild. And welcome to life, the ocean child. In this paragraph, the poet is talking about how when he was born, how all these marine creatures were, whistling and rolling and just running around this little baby, the ocean child, which came into this world. I have lived since then, since he has been born, that's a baby, in a calm and strifeful 50 summers a sailor's life. In this line, we get to know that he's been on the sea as a sailor for 50 years, with wealth to spend and power to range, but never have sought or sighed for change. He says, I have had options, I have options for a change, but death is the only thing which is going to depart from it. Whenever he comes to me, shall come on the wild, unbounded. He says, I am not going anywhere. Whenever it comes, limitless sea, he's going to be there forever. He will not give up his life on the sea for anything or anybody. I hope you all enjoyed the poem as much as I enjoyed reciting the poem. All right.